app dice. Pretty amazing little things here. They have an app on each side, and then you roll it. Of course, as we all know, we use an app on each side to determine on the project. Of course, you can also add QR codes and even augment them. But what if you could actually combine all three? The app, the QR code, and also augment the side of the dice, all in a simple roll. This would take the app dice and bring it to a whole nother level, which actually has all three incorporated or more. Your app dice actually have the templates all built within them. You have the picture of the app on the inside or wherever you want it in the QR code, and then the QR code itself is ready to be scanned on the roll. And of course, as you also know, you can actually set this as a target to make it augmented. So how does this whole process work? Well, of course, you have to create a QR code and one with an image. And the best place I found out is qrmonkey.com. What you do is you add in the URL, type it out, make sure it's all good. Once you do that, you can select your color to adjust each of the QR code. Always select a good color that's highlighted. After that, you just select that you want to choose an image. You can use one that's already established on the website, or you can actually upload your own from your computer. Once you've selected your image, make sure it's a good resolution and everything else, you can generate the code. Once you generate the code, it will create the actual app that you can then download straight to your computer without any problems. Once the image has been downloaded, of course, is to augment it. You can go up to a Rosemud Studio and, of course, upload it as a trigger image right into the website. Once you've selected your trigger image, of course, title it and make sure you have the correct resolution needed for the image, otherwise it will have a problem scanning on your device. Once, of course, you have the correct resolution and occupancy, the only thing you have left to do then is to add the overlay to the device. Of course, simply select the image and select an overlay for it. Make sure all your fields are filled out and the correct overlay and target image have been selected when you do this process, so that way once you scan the item, you'll be able to do the augmentation without problems. So fields are filled out. Check over your overlay of where you want it to appear when the image is scanned, and of course once everything has been finished, test out the trigger image. Things okay. Once you use Aurora, you should be able to trigger your device and be able to augment it with your little video or lesson. And of course, you can even add a link if you want to when they tap on it when the video is finished. Everything is completed in both those programs. All you have to do then, of course, is add the image QR code along with the augmentation trigger image to your dice template. Make sure you keep the size at a good ratio as well as making sure the image is clear or anything else. If everything's okay, give it a test scan, and once that's done, print it out. The desktop is very simple to do, and the mobile one is just as simple. Take an app such as Pic Collage. Open up a brand new template. Of course, import an image of a dice template directly into the app. Once you've selected, size it correctly and start adding your various images. My best advice is not to try to jam too many into the dice if you decide to go with several images instead of just one template image. The trick is to make sure they overlay correctly and that you can scan with each device. If everything fits in perfectly to the dice when you're going to print it out, then make sure you do a quick little test image with it, of course, with your other mobile device to make sure the QR codes will work correctly. It's not very hard to insert 3 or more images into one dice template depending on which one you're using. The trick is to make sure they're even enough so you don't cut out any of the images or trigger images, so that way once they are rolled and scanned with the device, they will have no difficulty. If everything has been overlaid correctly, you should be able to scan the dice template QR codes and it should take you directly to the website without issue. Please make sure that this does work well before you even think about printing and clipping this out to use with your students or your fellow teachers. Once all this has been completed, check into Aurorsma and make sure your trigger images are going to work correctly with the targeted dice. If they do not work correctly, you need to go over your work one more time to make sure the trigger images will work with all 3 overlaid images. Please be careful and take your time. It really does not take a lot of time to correct any images if they have been mis-overlaid, but once you have them all nice and even, this will flow fantastically. To make your image QR codes directly from your mobile device, it works exactly the same way on whatever browser you are using. Make sure you input the URL on top. Once that is all complete, make sure you have your color code checked. This could be a little bit more difficult since you are using your finger on a mobile device to select your color, but once you have an image that looks exactly like the resolution you want, make the correct adjustments, and of course, hit your device, upload an image, either take it or choose an existing, and once you do this, select the image and upload it and make any final corrections. Once you do that, you can actually download the new QR pick code perfectly to your mobile device and then of course import it without any problems in Pick Collage and make your dice. Another thing you can do with the QR codes is actually use them as an example on how to do the various projects. In this case, I shared my stick-around puzzle with my students. When they actually roll the app dice and get stick-around, what they do is they actually scan it with the QR code scanner and it will take them to a shared folder where I have already prepared puzzles. This allows a student to actually then download them directly to their device, in which then they can practice with the various puzzles to see how they work. This also works as a great year-end review where you can actually take each of the completed projects and have students review it for their final tests, so that way they actually can see what they have learned and also if they have understand their subject before everything is finished. Another great thing about using a QR code image is you actually can embed a shared folder from Google Drive, Dropbox, or other teacher shared folders for students to upload their projects. What they do is they scan the QR code on the app dice and it takes them directly to the folder. Once they're logged in, they can upload any finished completed project to this folder so the teacher can actually review their work directly on their mobile device or on their desktop device. This saves a lot of time instead of students actually going and logging into their device several times when they can just scan it and go to the correct folder. AppDive have come a long way from just a simple paper template that could be thrown to differentiate learning with any mobile device. Now you can embed QR codes, direct links, and augmentation all on a simple row for your students. And the greatest thing is you can do as many as you want, from 5-sided to 24-sided. What will you roll with an app dice smash? If you have any questions, please please contact me on my website or find me on Twitter at Ryan7Reed, and make sure you do hashtag AppDiceSmash at the end of each of your lesson. I'll talk to you later, and have a fantastic time app dice smashing.